Hi my loves, welcome back to another video. After a long waited time of the camera being broken, we are back and better than ever. I'm so excited. Today I decided to do a little more of a cozy version and take place on my bed. I also have my glasses on today. Y'all are having pink eye, just all the things are going today. But nevertheless, the camera is back, so that means it's time to get back consistent, back filming. So welcome back to another episode of Surviving Spelman. Welcome back to another episode of Surviving Spelman. Today is all about social life, community, and I feel like I would be remiss to not talk about a lot of the things that are going on Spelman's campus and in our community right now. I know that you all have likely seen so many things between SGA campaigns and first years and people in the dorm rooms and the Muslim Students Association and the Ms.Spelman and all these things. And I think that for me not to touch on at least some of them, which is probably what you guys are interested in, would definitely be jarring. But I'm gonna save that to the end of the video to do my reflections on that, just because there's some much needed content that we need to get into first. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to talk about freshman year, building freshman year friends versus long-term friends. What is the difference? How do you navigate it? And what do you want out of your experience? So first, let me remind you guys, especially for the first years watching, even the sophomores, the friendships and the relationships that you make in the beginning of your journey will not necessarily be the ones that you make at the end of your journey. And that is okay. I have had so many relationships that I've gone through at Spelman. And the biggest takeaway is to never allow the friendship or the relationship to end on bad terms. Sometimes people just grow apart, and that's so natural during college and our early 20s. So it's important to stay aware of that, stay adept to that, but also know that one broken relationship, one broken friendship does not make or break you, and it will not make or break your college experience. So it's okay that the first years, and when you're a first year, the friendships that you make may not carry yourself all the way through school. We are young women, changing, evolving, and that even goes with the friendships that you may make with the guys at Morehouse. Like, they are young men, they're evolving. Some of them might still be boys and growing into men. Some of the girls at Spelman, you might feel like you're still a girl, not a young woman yet. But I urge you to step into your power as a young woman first when you're in the gates, whatever time and period you are, whether you're a transfer, first year, sophomore, junior, even a senior. Step into your power, and also just know that whatever you put into a relationship is what is going to come out of it. So if you are not texting back, not trying to hang out, not trying to spend time, leaving people out, you're not going to receive the same relationship in return that you're expecting. In addition to, if you are having friends that are leaving you out, who are making fun of you, who are bullying you, who are peer pressuring you to go with certain people, those things are not okay. And you do not want to surround yourself in an environment with people who are not pouring into you, pouring into your cup, and really making it beneficial for you to continue in your experience. So make sure that you kind of discern the difference between short-term and long-term friends, and know that some of your friendships may take a break and you may rekindle later on in your experience, and that might be the person for you. Next, I want to talk about Spellbound and send-offs. This is specifically for my first years. If you are in a city that is doing a Spellbound send-off, please go bond and build a group chat with the people at your school, at your send-off location, and also the current students that come back. In addition to the alumna, not only can you get scholarships and mentorships through these send-offs, you can build community that you will have initially as you go in, but you also get like a big sister as a Spelmanite who's always looking out for you. We rep our cities very hard at Spelman, especially the DMV, the South, and the East Coast, as well as California. So I feel like we have a big concentration of people that come from like all of those regions I just named, and especially Chicago as well. So whether you were in a Jack and Jill chapter or not, whether you have people coming from your school, the send-off is a perfect place to find people from your city. So helpful when you want to go home or book a flight or want to drive home or do all those things as well, just to stay connected and in that tight-knit bond. That doesn't mean they have to be your best of friends at school, but it's still someone that you guys should connect with. Next, I want to talk about studying abroad. This is a big part of social life and community. I feel like I just was introduced to this year. I went to Barcelona. It was such an amazing experience, but most importantly, it allowed me to make new friends and meet new people. I was one of, I think, 5 juniors going into their senior year on this trip, and I met people that I already knew, but more importantly, I met underclassmen that I bonded with, and they will totally be my friends for life. We'll travel together in the future and all those things, but I would not have been able to do that without study abroad. I wouldn't have been able to do that without that experience, and it was so fun. You get to immerse yourself in another culture. And we were there for 2 weeks. We had a time. I mean, a time was had. I didn't get in the house sometimes till 5 a.m. and all that time I was laughing and making memories. And it was truly just a life-changing experience. It was a well-needed break for me, especially in my Spelman journey and where I was at that point. But more importantly, it was just fun, and I really needed that. So very grateful for that opportunity, and I urge you all to do it. There's winter semester and also spring semester of study abroad at Spelman, and both are kind of like just different for whichever you need. But I did spring semester, of course, like spring going into summer. I think there's also some for spring break as well through different programs like the health careers program and things. So I'll also say to look into that and just take it full force. There's some that offer scholarships or some that are cheaper than others. They all range between like $1,500 to $2,500. So I definitely would say check all of those out. Next up, guys, I really want to speak on alumna. This is such a big part of the Spelman community, but also the AC community. Actually, fun fact, since we were just talking about study abroad, while we were away, we met a Morehouse alumni, and he was just telling us about his experience. He let us know if we needed anything. He recommended places for us to go, and he literally had on a Spelman book bag. So Spellhouse runs really deep. The AC does as well, but really Spellhouse runs really deep, and they're always willing to support. They are your brothers across the street, but also for some people that is their spouse and their husband, their partner, and how they build their family. I guess we should talk about this. We should talk about Spellhouse couples. I will say that like a lot of people think they're gonna find their Spellhouse couple in undergrad, but the probability and like the portion of Spellhouse couples and percentage of them are more frequent post-grad, or a lot of people will get in a relationship at the end of senior year or at the and during senior year, and then they'll go on to be in a relationship. But a lot of people say senior year at Spelman, you've already met your husband by now, because you guys might have come across with each other. You just might not, think that that's the person, because you guys have to mature still. But anyways, Spellhouse love is real. Hopefully you get your kiss under the fountain. I know I'll get mine too, hopefully, maybe one day. But yeah, next let's get into clubs, social capital, networking, and Greek life. First, let's talk about social capital. Social capital is something that I don't feel like we talk about enough, especially at HBCUs, and that is truly the definition of your network is your net worth. One, everyone that you meet at Spelman, Morehouse, the AC is your network. You are going to be with these people in jobs. Sorry guys, my mom's texting me. You're going to be with these people in the workforce. You're going to be with these people at social events and gatherings. You're going to be with these people at parties, at work mixers, at everything in between. So really make sure you're building those connections. And that doesn't have to look like someone's your best friend, but just be respectful, be responsive, be attentive to what they're going on, what's going on, what they're doing, what are they involved in, what's going on with them. That way you can just really leverage it, and it won't be like, oh, I never ran into you when we were in undergrad. But like, if one of you know each other, it's like, oh yeah, so-and-so, like, how are you doing, how's your like how older people do. And that is honestly and essentially how your experience is going to go. Next, let's talk about your network. It's really important to network and really leverage that social capital when you're on campus, especially trying to get into orgs and different clubs. For example, for me, I started getting into FBLS because I reached out to Coriana, and Coriana is actually the former SJ president, but our paths are just tied in so many different ways. But I reached out to her when I was interested in getting on e-board. I'm like, hey, I've been a member of FBLS. I've seen you around some things. You're always very friendly. Can I talk to you about your experience and advice in getting on the board? From there, our one conversation led to me getting on the board. That's how you're going to basically leverage getting into these clubs and organizations. Next up, I really think it's important to talk about clubs and organizations, especially at a school like Spelman. It is not easy. You have to have an application, sometimes an interview, and oftentimes you have to know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. And while we are starting to disband things like that, it also shows you the importance of how this translates into the real world. In the real world, you're not just going to get everything because you applied or because you went to Spelman or because any of those things. All these things take time, take work, and take effort. So make sure you have your resume, have spoken to someone who's in the organization, even if it's just in their informational, to understand what you're joining. Have your business attire on during your meetings, have during your interview and the first couple meetings, have your answers ready to the questions. Like, they should not ask you a question that you don't have the answer to, and vice versa. Like, be ready to ask them questions about what their org is about, what they're looking to do, how you can be of use as a member. All those things are really important because orgs, especially at the HBCU, are very time consuming. There are only about 150 RSOs on Spelman's campus. So you are definitely going to be using a lot of your time doing that. Excuse me, like for FBLS last semester, we had over 12 mandatory meetings. There's only about 12 weeks in a school year, guys. So probably a little more now that I think about it. It's probably 4, 8, 12, probably 16. But keep in mind, some of those will be breaks. Some of those will be homecoming and spring fest. Like, all those things come and it fills up your schedule really fast. So you just want to be sure of what you're joining. Next up, I wanted to get a little into Greek life. I personally think that this is something that you should go on your own journey for. You should explore and figure it out on your own. But I do want to say, just as someone who is involved in a sorority, especially on Spelman's campus, please be very serious. Please be very respectful to all the sororities that are featured on Spelman's campus. Please show them all respect, and please just truly do your research and know what you're signing up for. In addition to showing up in business attire to events for all organizations, unless it's otherwise stated by them, I think that's just one way to show respect. I know that's something I personally didn't know coming in freshman year and was told by another Spelman sister, but I would love to just tell you all, just so you know, and you're not confused when you get there. But yeah, I can't really speak on any other organizations, and I won't fully speak on mine because that's just not my role and what this channel is about. But I will urge you all to try things, to learn things, and to just do all things you want to do on Spelman's campus. We talked about study abroad, we talked about clubs and RSOs, we talked about Greek life. There's also, of course, like SGA, Pulse, MSAB, like all those fall under clubs and orgs. And there's community service. Make sure you're doing your community service, not just a community service that's necessary for like Spelman's 8-hour requirement per semester, but just you're doing your community service in general. And really just make sure you're getting involved, have a social life. Go to parties, don't go to parties. Like, you will find the parties that are right for you. I know my freshman video, I touched on parties. When you're an upper class student, parties just continue as well. They go to house parties and darties and this and this and that. Like, go out if that's your thing. If it's not your thing, that's okay. Stay inside. Go to the library. There's so many cool things to do in Atlanta. Walk on the Beltline. Just go out and have a good time. Now, I know at the beginning of this video, I promised you all that I would get a little into just my thoughts on Spelman in general, and I want everyone to be very aware that this is me speaking as Gabrielle Adams, not as my positions as SJ president, as a member of FBLS, or any of the orgs that I'm on the campus, not as a soror of the Sweet Me Pie chapter, or any of those things. But I really just want to urge everyone to lean into the sisterhood of Spelman. That is truly at its core what Spelman was meant to, and I think we've seen a lot of different displays of Ms. Spelman and this and that on social media, and I really urge you all to hear both sides of the story and understand what fabrication looks like at a experience, especially as an HBCU, and that everyone has their own defined experience and you cannot invalidate anyone's feelings, but there are certain things that are right and wrong, and acting unsisterly in any way does not align with Spelman as a college. And I really urge you all, as you come into Spelman, or even in the journey that you are at Spelman currently, to be sisterly at the end of the day, to remain respectful, to remain comforting, to remain supportive, and to really tune out the haters, because there are so many times this semester that I stopped myself from recording a video just with people having Spelman slander between our new president, between Ms. Spelman, between updates to dorms, between the last financial aid. There are always so many things that people have to say, or people have things to share about publicly on social media, and they're never truly in our position. They're never walking through those gates and getting their education every day. They're never in the experience and having friends who are running for events, who are going to pageants, who are doing all these things. And we have Fizz at this point in time, which I truly wish that we would delete, that really just digs in anonymously and really shows the true hatred of some people. So I really urge you all to be respectful, be sisterly, and just be kind at the end of the day. I think that if you lead with a pure heart and pure intention, amazing things will come for you at Spelman. And even sometimes you'll have a point in time where the wrong thing might happen, or you'll be like, why me? Or you just don't feel like you were rightfully deserving of that. But just know that your time is going to come, and no matter where you are in your Spelman journey, even if you are a student who has been here a while and you're like, my journey isn't going exactly how I expected, but I want to make it right and I want to feel fulfilled at the end of this, know that if you put in the work, really make your vision clear and make it plain, as the Bible says, and lean into your spiritual guidance, your Spelman sisters, your community, your village. It will all work out and it'll all come to you in the right way. So if you all have any more specific questions or things I can help you with, make sure you hit in the comment section down below and we can have a great little chat. I also think I'm going to be debuting something soon related to our Surviving Spelman series, really just your how-to guide on Spelman College and the HBCUs of your choice. So let me know down below if you guys are excited for that. Maybe comment blueprint. So I know that you guys watched this far into the video, but that is the end of today's Surviving Spelman. Oh child, this is definitely a touchy topic episode. I'm definitely gonna get some text messages after this saying like, Gabby, did you really have to say this? Gabby, are you sure that you want to say this? But I wanted to be open and honest with you all, and that is my first and foremost priority, especially in this series, because it's real, raw, and uncut. I thank you guys for being here. Make sure you click the notification bell so you don't miss next week's episode. I love you all so much, and let's chat down below. Bye.